I also have several other reports to share with you tonight. My typical report begins on board book page 42. So I'd like to take a few minutes to share out. I apologize, Marion.
41 is your pie chart. Are you looking
yes,
for that?
Thank you, 41. So this report is for the month of November. And as you can see, the total operating revenue for the month was $551,150, with 48% coming from federal and state reimbursements, 34% coming from evidence-based funding, which is our state funding, and 11% coming from property tax. At the Finance Advisory Council, there was a question asked about student fees. So to date, the district has collected $800,175.55 in student fees. This amount is lower from this time last year. That amount last year was $969,347. One of the big driving factors with that is pay to participate. Fall sports, there were much fewer fall sports. Winter sports, because we had just tried out, we hadn't collected any winter sport pay to participate fees, and by now we would have collected all of those. So that is certainly a big portion of that. The total operating expenditures for the month were $2,102,159, with 74% towards salary and benefits, 18% for purchase services, primarily for LADSI, which is our special education cooperative. We get grant money to offset a lot of that LADSI cost, and so this is the grant money. A large portion of this is the grant money that's just flowing through RB. As well as food service. A lot of that, it's not just RB's food service, but we pay in advance for our satellite schools and they reimburse us. So it's both of those things combined. And then 4% for special education tuition. Moving on to the next report, you can see on the next page, if you go to the revenue page, Marianne, the summary of revenues shows that the district has received 46% of our budgeted revenue for the year. This amount is up 2% from this time last year, but it's important to keep in mind that we budgeted very conservative when it comes to revenue this year. And then the summary of expenditures shows that the district has spent 42% of the budgeted expenditures for this year, and that amount is down from this time last fiscal year, which was 46%. And then, as always, I've included for the board the statement of revenue and expenditures, which lists all of the revenue and expense for the month, as well as the student activity accounts. Marianne, if you go to board book page 65, I believe. Thank you. This is a contract tool that I create and update and share annually with the board. It's a tool that organizes the contracts by two things. One, that contracts that we bring to the board for approval and contracts that the administration approves. The board approves contracts that generate revenue, are professional services that directly represent the board, such as the auditor, or contracts that are over $25,000. The administration approves contracts that fall under the annual budget, that purchase routine supplies, equipment, things of that nature. We have two contracts that are expiring that the board approves this year, which are highlighted in gray. Gordon Flesch is for our copiers, and then Justin's is for our yearbook. So you will see those in the coming months. And then there were some questions submitted about this tool. So for our 403Bs and 457B plans, they are eligible to any board approved adult employee is eligible to participate. And then the other question was in regards to whether or not or why professional services are not included on this list. So the contract tool is really created for me to manage and keep track of multi-year contracts that need to go to the board, and then also other contracts that other administrators oversee. Professional services are renewed on an annual basis, so there's not necessarily a need for me to keep track of those, and there's also not a requirement for reporting out on professional services. So I don't have a comprehensive list created in a spreadsheet like this where I keep track of them, because they come up every year for me.